fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, taking a look at some Star Trek Fleet Command kind of new player guides. Now, what I actually want to encourage you to do if you're watching, if you're a veteran player, help me out because I want you to drop some of your favorite tips in the comment section for new players. I try to put out a video like this every month or two to help new players really get acclimated to the game and understand some of the basics because, well, this game is pretty big, it's pretty grand, and tons of things are always going on, so understanding how things work can be difficult because it is quite an expansive game after 4+ years. But we want to cover some basics today and talk about armadas, how to get them, how to launch them, and what you can actually do with them and why they're so important for your long-term gameplay, and then even giving you a glimpse of what armadas become later on. So to start with armadas, I'm going to use my level 29 account, so shout out WPN for existing and allowing me to be here. The way to get armadas, or the way to launch armadas, starts at level 23 with this building called the Armada Control Center. Now, what you do with the Armada Control Center is pretty basic. You upgrade it, and the further you go in its upgrading, the larger armadas that you can launch with your alliance, and the bigger bonus you get with damage. And that's really all that really changes. Is solo armadas will be 3. Now, eventually, that might end up changing, but if you scroll all the way to the very bottom, current max level at the time of this video, this is 50, and you see armada size is 7 for alliances, but 3 for solos. So that stays the same. But you're going to increase the damage bonus you get when fighting armadas and the amount of people that can participate in an armada. Now, what exactly is an armada? Well, if you actually go out into your galaxy tree and hit this little button over here on the right side of your screen, you'll see different options. If you hit hostiles, what it'll do is it'll actually show you where armadas are. And you could denote an armada by this cute little, how would you even describe that icon? I don't know how to really describe it. But anyway, it's like this triangle pointy thing. It's an armada. That's what that is in a system. So if I was to click that, and then come over here and go into a system, I would then look around and find, like, for example, there's an epic armada. And then we'll probably find what, a rare, or at least there's an uncommon. And to launch an uncommon, I would simply go and click armada and launch. Bam, that's it. Now, before anybody gets too crazy, how do you get the tokens required to build this building? I know a lot of you new players are probably going to be asking that, like, hey, okay, so that's how I launch it, but how do I actually get these? So the kind of tricky thing with armadas is you can only get them if you're brand new. Like, let's just say you're on server 98, brand new, just launched, it's brand spanking new. The only real way to get the cores if you're in an alliance that doesn't have anybody with alliance, the actual building unlocked, is you actually need to go and purchase a pack that will then give you the alliance or the armada credits that you need. So you'll go into one of this. Is it in this one? As you can see, I have the buildings. I've done forgotten where it is. It's a pack to buy it. The other way to get it is if you launch an alliance armada like I'm doing right now. When you win, you'll actually go into the store and you will have a currency that you have earned that you turn in with these various armada packs. So you would go to the armada uncommon pack, for example, and then I would turn it in here, do double chest, and there I'm going to get more directives. Excuse the graphic errors, I haven't updated, but then I'm going to get the armada tactical cores, which I need to build and upgrade my armada. I can also do it here. I have one specifically for getting cores, and there's another 2600, and then also for getting directives that I'll use alliance credits to turn in for that. And that is the basis of it. So the tricky kind of part of it is if you're starting out as a new player wanting to start armadas, like you want to launch armadas, you need to be level 23, and then you also need to be part of an alliance that's already running armadas. Somebody's running them so that you can start collecting that currency needed to transfer through. Or you can be the first one on the server and purchase the cores needed and then do it that way. But there are no other ways to get the cores besides running armadas and buying packs. The good thing is I've yet to participate on a server, US, EU, or APAC, that has nobody spending and buying armadas immediately. In fact, the way a lot of new servers go is people buy them and are doing that day one. So you'll find people that are doing it, but that's kind of the tricky thing. People ask, well, what's the free-to-play way to just get it? You have to actually run armadas to open up that option and see where you can progress. Now, the good news also is you don't have to be any particular level to run them. I mean, you can literally be a level 15 player and participate in an armada if you're able to reach the system via warp range. So you saw the little note that we had there that sees hostile, so you can kind of pick where armadas are, but you'll see this little icon here, like there's armadas in Sornell, and that's not a very far warp range system. Now, there aren't really any in the lower levels of space here. You come back here, you're just going to have regular hostiles. But as you get into the independent pieces of space that start getting really close to faction space, there are a couple of systems that have that. I'd encourage you to check out STFC.space if you'd like to see where all of those are individually. Now, let's go a little bit deeper kind of into this. Where do we go with armadas from here? Like, where does it eventually take us? So long term, as you go deeper into the game, this is the level 46 account that I have, you have multiple versions of armadas. You have regular armadas, which is what you just saw me launch on level 29. You have swarm armadas, which those are found in various swarm systems, starting at level 35 for the Franklin A. You'll have, like, for example, there's some right here. These are specifically swarm based, and you can complete dailies with these and get biominerals. We're not real big fans of those. And also, the person who launches that armada has a chance of getting Jailer Shards, who's a pretty coveted officer in the game. You also have Wormadas, which we ignored. Don't worry about those. You have the old Borgmadas here, and then you have the new Borgmadas in all these green spaces. And this is a solo armada, meaning one person brings 3 ships to these armadas and launches them. If I went, I think, yeah, too far away. Let's see. I couldn't get there in time to show you the launch timers. They very short timers. But you have these solo armadas. You also have solo armadas over here in Dominion space. So if I was to say, look at this system right here, they're going to be Dominion solo armadas, and we would operate those 1 player, 3 ships, different currencies it uses versus the regular armadas. And we have Eclipse armadas over here. We have these exchange systems that have Eclipse armadas for our Stella grind in the late 20s, 30s, and 40s. And then we even have various armadas here in territory and other armadas across the galaxy. There are armadas everywhere and various types of armadas. They become very important as you level up in the game. And one of the more recent additions to the game was the Bajoran faction that you unlock at level 35. Well, this is a big deal. The solo armadas are one of the primary mechanics for this, and it's regarded as one of the better mechanics in the game in terms of what you would get reward-wise for the effort that you're putting in. Also, the subspace transceivers look oddly like the logo for the armadas here in the game. Short answer is level 23 is when you can start building the building, and as you level up, you will then unlock more bonuses from it, and then also more opportunities. For example, you can't really go level 50 plus without taking your Armada Center up to high. And I'm trying to get mine to Armada Center 45 right now, and going through the process of what is, in my opinion, the awfulness of Armadas, because you get the G4 packs are not near as good as the G3. We universally hate these. We're still bugging Scopely to make these better, but you need rare cores to start upgrading the building in the 40s versus just needing regular cores. But thankfully, you can get them from turning in these chests, but it's not a very good return. But you can see I pull these very regularly on my main account. So if you're a new player of the game, armadas are open to everybody. Anybody can participate. You simply need to be in an alliance and simply jump in and have the warp range to reach wherever somebody launches. And thankfully, there are newer systems in the game with easier to reach spaces, like Cardassian space. Doesn't have to require you going out to D space so much, and you can launch one of these and get good rewards from these as well. Or you can do solo armadas later in the game. But building starts at level 23, and I'm very curious to have everybody who's watching here, because we have a massive community that we love. I want to see what their advice is in the comment section down below, and read through some of these comments if you're a newer player, because armadas are a big topic. I'm not really going over crews here. I'm not really covering anything expansive besides how to do them and where they start. I have videos for crewing and things like that. If you want a good basic crew, Kirk, Spock, Khan is kind of like a go-to starter armada crew that everybody pushes for. You get Kirk and Spock through the Federation recruit store. So we'll hit officers real quick, hit recruit. And if you're aligned with the Federation faction, you would get them from right here. And then the other officer is Khan that you can get not only from transporter patterns right back here, but you can also go back to the faction menu. Go down to the augments, which you start unlocking in the teens, and he is part of right here. Start unlocking Khan, and then at level 28, you get Khan every Sunday, completing your Swarm Sunday. So that is a very basic Armada crew to start off the game. Kirk, Spock, Khan. Hopefully it helps you out. And if you have any questions, need any help, hit me up. I'm more than happy to assist. And again, try to make some of these videos to help newer players adapt to the game, because we have a ton of newer players, and I absolutely love that. So whether you're a low level, in the 20s like this account, or you're in the 40s like my main, there are ways for you to get things done, and hopefully you're enjoying them. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for those Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next video, which is every single day. Appreciate y'all being here. Out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.